Today, I'm going to talk about vocation, which is something for all of us. Kind of like how each and every day we get dressed. Now granted, during this COVID time, I know we maybe get dressed a little later than normal, maybe a little less often than normal because we're not getting out as much. But I think it is something we still do every day, right? You go to a closet or to a dresser, or maybe you go to a pile of clothes on a chair in the corner of the room and you find something to wear. And you put on different clothes depending on what you're going to be doing that day. For example, if I'm going to be recording a sermon today, well, I better dress like a pastor. Whereas if I'm going to be heading outside to mow the lawn, well, yeah, all right, that's a little more like it, a little more comfortable. You don't have to worry about getting all dirty and grubby. But hey, what if I wanted to go to a Minnesota Twins game? Well, there we go. Now I'm at the game ready to catch that Buxton home run. Well, if I'm going to a business meeting, I better dress appropriately. What about those days playing outside with the kids? See, this is nice. See, we put on all these different outfits depending on what we're going to be doing that day. But the consistent element in it all is us. Underneath whatever outfit it is that you are wearing is you. Yeah. Like I said, underneath it all is just you. And God has created you in such a way that you are exactly enough. God knows you, God loves you, and God has called you to fill a variety of roles in this world. And within our Lutheran tradition, we call those roles vocation. Vocation are all of these different roles that God has called you to fill in this world. Just like how every day we put on different clothes, we are also called to a variety of vocations, a variety of roles within this world. God has called me to be a pastor, and God has called me to be a dad. I'm also called still to be a son. I'm called to be a good citizen, a friend. You could go on and on. We have a variety of roles and vocations. I think you get the idea. So maybe you're called to be a student, or a teacher, a grandparent, or a fun aunt. Whatever your job is, that thing that you get paid to do, I hope that you see that as a vocation, as a calling from God. Because all of these different roles are so important to you being who God created you to be, who God has called you to be, which is exactly what the world needs. Frederick Buechner said it like this: your vocation in life is where your greatest joy meets the world's greatest need. Well, I love being a pastor. I love being a dad. These vocations are where I find my greatest joy, and it turns out there's a need in the world for that as well. It's who God has created me to be, and I love it. God has created you. God knows you, and God has called you. I want to close with a few verses from Psalm 139. O Lord, you have searched me and known me. You know when I sit down and when I rise up. You discern my thoughts from far away. You search out my path and my lying down and are acquainted with all my ways. Even before a word is on my tongue, O Lord, you know it completely. You hem me in, behind and before. You lay your hand upon me. God has created you. God knows you. God loves you, and God has called you. So, what is your vocation?